Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. As you know, today is Thursday. Wimbledon's going on. Yes, I said Wimbledon. And what does this have to do with Wimbledon? Well, you'll find out in a couple minutes why I'm saying Wimbledon. Because going to Wimbledon is one of my bucket list things. Also, going to Napa is one of my bucket list things. And so, if this certain thing happens, we're going to talk about today and throw it out in the universe, then I can get to my bucket list. And so, yes, Wimbledon is going on. Yes, Wimbledon is wonderful for those of you who are living in the U.S. and not sure what Wimbledon is. Wimbledon is one of the most famous tennis tournaments played across the country, across the pond. I'm sorry, not across the country at all. It's played in England, and it's also famous, and it's been going on for many, many years now. And so that is one of my bucket list items, and I'm going to say a little rehearsed speech at the end, which Mel helped me with, because I'll be talking about during the episode why I say that. And I also wanted to say I have been called self-centered. I have been given the term of you use the Mickey Mouse system to publish your books. Your people that work on your books don't get paid, which isn't true. They don't get paid, and I got thanked by a certain person who's on this phone call with me this morning, almost sent me to my knees, because normally people don't thank you for paying their invoices on time. And so I even paid this one a couple of days early. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mel chime in here, and we're going to kick this episode off in style.
Absolutely. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you all for being on the show, and thank you, Wynn, for being such a valuable asset in my life, and, having a lot of fun doing this with you. So anyway, yes, Wimbledon, that is quite a bucket list item. I would love to do that, along with the British Open golf tournament. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime things that they're also the benchmark of each of those respectable sports. But I like the items on your list, my friend. So what's new with you? What's going on today? What do we got?
Yeah. And so the reason why I wanted to have this episode with Mel is because, as you guys know, I'm going back to school in September. I almost said November. Oh boy. In September, and I'm getting a degree, my official associate degree, even though I have a degree in early childhood education. My official associate degree also, I hope, will be in fashion journalism, and I'm getting that out of the Academy of Arts in San Francisco. And yes, I'm buying my school supplies. I'm being a panic student, just like everyone else is, except I don't have to move into a campus. If I had to do that, I would be a panic mess right now. But eventually, I will probably make that move after I make this first vision come true. So then I have the finances to make that move and eventually get another degree, hopefully in fashion designing, because I want to be a fashion designer as well as a fashion journalist. But first, I'm getting my associate's degree in fashion journalism. Fashion designing would require a move. So, what does this have to do with Wynn's books? Well, it all collates and ties together. One of my big dreams is to become a New York Times bestselling author. And yes, as a matter of fact, got called self-centered today, got called you've been using Mickey Mouse system for years. Even though I have now hired a marketing firm, which goes into effect on Monday, the marketing firm can only do so much. And so what I want you guys to do, and Mel, you can ask me questions along the way here, is help support my next book to make it to the New York Times bestseller list, because as Mel knows now, because he's had first-hand experience at this too, publishing a book is hard as heck. Publishing a book is not easy. Everyone says, I want to write a book, but when you sit down and think about it, it's hard as heck. So that's my ultimate dream, and my ultimate dream is to become a fashion designer with CP, but that requires a move out to San Francisco, and a move costs money. And so, yeah, you may be thinking, well, where's the wind going? My vision is to hit the New York Times bestseller list by the time I'm 35. Then I want to ramp up my freelance writing career, and if I have time, I'll move my butt and move out to San Francisco and then become a fashion designer if I have time. Right now, I'm so focused on becoming a New York Times bestselling author and a independent freelance journalist, so I can leave education. It's not funny.
Okay. It's not funny. It's a serious deal, right?
No.
So I just got a question
it's not
for you.
funny.
What exactly is the Mickey Mouse method, and how is that applied to you exactly?
The Mickey Mouse method is when you publish a book, Create Space is free. Create Space is an entity of Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything to publish a book. They used to call it way back when vanity publishing. And so what this person was trying to say to me is you don't use a marketing firm to get your books out there. You publish a book, paste in all the kingdom come, and then expect people to buy it, which is not true. So that's, in the short term, what the Mickey Mouse system of publishing a book is.
Well, if you take it upon yourself, let's say someone did that, and that probably does happen. If a person takes it upon themselves and takes the initiative to do that, puts it on their shoulders and finds a way to do it so that they create awareness, they create a market, an audience, people buy it, they like it, and whatnot, what's so wrong with that? I mean, there's always multiple ways to do the same thing, right, for the end result.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody has to hire a marketing firm. And also my next question is, a New York Times bestseller is quite a feat. Why is that? What does that mean to you?
Why that? Okay, let me ask you the first.
Instead of just to being a best-selling author, but to be a New York Times bestseller.
The first question is because I want to do this myself, because if someone gives anyone a publishing deal, the publisher has creative rights. And with self-publishing, you don't give those creative rights away. You could put a black and spotted cover on your book. Once it goes to Random House, once it goes to the small independent publishers, they want to put the red dot in the middle of your black and white dot. So you don't have creative control once you hand your book over to a publisher, let's say Random House, who signs you. They can screw with your book every which way. So that's why I will always stay independent publishing, so I have creative control. I'm too creative to ever give a publishing deal, ever get a publishing deal.
Okay.
And so that's why a lot of independent published authors stay independent.
So, whenever you see stories or movies of a writer being paid in advance by a publishing house, they're basically prepaying for the potential of the sales, and here it is, you write the book, you give it to us, and then the publishing house has full control of it. So it's like a song.
Yeah.
It's like an artist who signs with the record label, and then they have full rights to the song. And the artist is cut out.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, right?
Exactly.
Wow, okay. All right, I understand that. Okay.
Same thing.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm asking you this live. Did you not know that?
No, it's an education to me. I mean, sure. So.
Did you
not
know why I'm saying indie?
Well, now, now I do know that. I always knew that you were taking it on yourself, but I didn't know the dynamics of it all. I didn't realize that that's what publishing houses do. Well, what happens to the contents of your book once they have copyright to it? They can change it, right, or do whatever they want with it.
They can change it.
Right.
They could pull. They could make I Win a completely sad story if they wanted to.
Right.
And I Come a Win is not a completely sad story. It's a backspace story, so it's a mosaic of CP coming out in August.
And they can even break it up and sell it off in little pieces like excerpts.
Yes.
Stuff like that. They can completely make money off it without you having having any revenue from it at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's
so
quite the enterprise,
what was your next question? Remind me.
Well, okay. What inspires you to write? I mean, obviously, there's different stages of your life, right? I mean, I know of a writer that has written that's looking at their life in a few stages. As in, starting. She wants to be the happy ending. She's in the middle of the happy ending, and at the end, she is the happy ending. So she's looking at her life in stages like that. Where are you at, and what inspires you to write at this stage of your life?
I was fixing my Apple headphones to answer this question. Where am I at? Life inspires me. I wrote I Come a Win to, you guys don't know this. You guys know part of it, but you guys know the part where I asked my, biological mom, can I write I Come a Win? And can I do I Come a Win? First of all, she was my family, and she is and will always be a support system, even though she's passed on. And she said, yes, as long as you do it gracefully from medically into stomach. But I envision that in a taxi cab, actually, on my way to give my final wishes, because I knew this was coming. My family's devout Catholic, and we went to church before we said our final goodbyes. We all got out of church. I thought, here's how oblivious I am. I thought we were going to lunch, and then I thought we were going to say our final goodbyes. No, we didn't even go to lunch. We met up for dinner afterwards. But we went from the Catholic service directly to Swedish Hospital, and at the time I was in a vehicle trying to envision how I'm supposed to present I Come a Win to my mom, who was in a mentally coma. And I'm sitting in the back seat. My aunt is, her sister is trying to blabber on to me about something. I am in zone, and I am in the zone to the effect of, let's do this, let's say goodbye. I roll into the room. My mom is so freaked out that her machines are beeping 1,000 miles a minute. And of course, there's not a doctor, there's not a nurse in sight to turn them down. Do you know, and you guys know this, but Mel doesn't know this, do you know that I said, I love you, Mom, I love you, Mom, I love you, Mom, over, I think, 200 times. And so then, as soon as the machines come down enough so she could hear me and give me a incomplete answer, a solid answer, I asked her, as soon as the machines went off, I said, can I write I come a win? And she said yes. And so in a taxi cab, I started envisioning I come a win and what it was going to look like. Now, since then, I have done 8 books under my name, soon to be 10. Some of them have been anthologies, which are anthologies when you contribute a chapter to a book. I'm also, as of today, a consultant on a short fairy tale, believe it or not, about CP. So what the New York Times bestseller list is going to help me do is just spread my work even further, because when you have a business card, you have a business card. Well, if you have a book and you go to a men's coaching conference, I'm just using that now as an example, you can hand your book to different coaches and say, here's my story, read it, and then see if you want to work with me. And do you know, because so many people are fascinated by my story and doing the Kona Ironman and all that jazz, do you know I've never, since I've started this podcast, had a person turn me down. I'm too busy, I've been canceled, do you know I've never had a person turn me down. I had a woman come on today and talk about chronic pain of all things, chronic physical pain, and how she can't get married. And I just realized today that I would never be able to get married because I am on state assistance, and if I was going to get married, my state assistance would be pulled. And Cynthia, her name was Cynthia, told me that. And it didn't dawn on me. I'm like, what's this roadblock in my life? It didn't dawn on me until she told me why I wanted to be single. And so, getting back to the New York Times bestseller, that will just expand the work that I'm doing now so I can leave my job, my 9-to-5 job in the education system, because as Mel and I talked before, and as you guys know, the education system is not getting better, it's getting worse. So I want to be a freelance writer, and as you guys know, college is expensive for anyone. And as you guys know, you got the cost of supplies, you got the cost of books, and I'm financially lucky, but being in the New York Times bestseller list would just help me magnify my work.
Wow. You put some thought into that. you know,
Yep.
It's one of those things where, you got to have a vision forward as to how all the pieces fit, right? Because, when you write a book or you do a podcast or you just get out in the public and you say your opinion or, whatever views you have, of the world, or in relation to your life, you're impacting people's lives. You really are. I know we do that all the time, and it's one thing to set a goal to be an author. It's another goal to say that you want to be a bestseller. It's another goal to you take that to the next level and you want to be a New York Times bestseller. I don't know of any other phrase that's relatable to writing a book that tops being a New York Times bestseller. I don't know if there's any. Not that I'm any expert on writing books, but the bottom line is it's all going to come together. It's all going to flow together. You've got your fashion journalism degree. You've got your book working. You have a love for fashion. You have a love for your specific community and your demographic. And because of the actions you're taking, the results are going to catch up to the actions that you're doing. I really believe that. And the more you and I communicate, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 times a day. And it's evolving, right? It's always evolving, right? There's always evolving. Yeah. There's a direction the ship is going. I run mine and you run yours, and we have, the podcast in the middle. And, it evolves into better, bigger and better things because doors open when you're open-minded, right? So, the funny thing is, as you're talking about your book, and you said you envisioned it after your time with your mom and you were in the cab and all that stuff. I'm working on my book, and I'm not putting any pressure of timeline on mine. I'm managing my energy rather than managing time. There's a huge difference between the two. And I never ever want to work by desperation or by crisis. I never want to manage anything in my life by crisis, which is the difference between managers and leaders. So, I am very patient with the inspiration, the visions, the final product, all of it coming together. I have no doubt that it will. There are moments where I have great content, and you can relate to this. And there are times when there's nothing, zero. You're like, okay. And the more you search it, the worse it is. The more you actually repel it, right? It actually runs away from you, from a metaphysical standpoint. If you just relax and just have a relaxed confidence and the utmost faith and confidence that in your existence, that you be, do, and have, rather than do, have, and then be, which is something I've had to learn the hard way. You're going to produce the things that are going to make you happy, because you are more than enough right where you're sitting and standing, whether or not a person gets married or not, whether or not a person, reaches whatever they want to reach. You are more than enough at the moment that you're standing right now. So I don't mean to go off on a tangent about that, but it is very important that you just kind of pump the brakes, and just keep working hard. Your results will catch up to the actions that you do. I really believe that. And the reason why that's applicable is because for the amount of times that you and I communicate per day, there are ideas being thrown around, there are things that come up, and they just kind of refine itself, into a single lane, from a 5-lane freeway into a single lane, going over the bridge, and there you are. And then we go on to the next 5-lane freeway and to the next bridge. So anyway, what else, Lynn?
So I was going to say how we are going to do this, you guys, and then I'll say my scripted speech at the end as we close out this interview. And it's going to be a 2-part episode because of Mel's schedule and mine. And so this is going to be a 2-part episode. But when the Mosaic of CT comes out, and this goes for Mel's book, this goes for anyone's book, I want you to do your homework. One, read I Come a Win, so you get a gist of what's going on, or read any of my books, quite frankly. You quickly discover what's going on. 2, I want you to leave a review. It has to be a nice review, and just has to be a review. And then 3, I want you to share it all over social media. That's how we're going to make me a New York Times best-selling author. I win shot by accident to number 1 2 weeks after it came out. I want Mosaic of CP to to even better, and I've got a marketing team in place. Now I need you guys to help it along too, and it will be on audio for those of you I've already contacted, audio producer, and he's willing to do it, and willing to share it too. So that helps. But I want this to be a New York Times best-selling book. I don't care what I have to do, whether I have to get on a million podcasts and lose my voice by sharing my story. I will do that to make it a New York Times best-selling author. Whether I have to pull the Midnight Oil with a textbook, I will do that to get better at my craft to make a New York Times best-selling book. I will work with my editor as hard as I can at 7 a.m. She's on the East Coast. She has a disabled son, so she understands the disabilities front, and she understands how bright we are, and thank you, Mary, for understanding that. And because a lot of editors don't get me, because I use Siri, and we'll go into step by step how I write my books and what my vision for my books or next episode. But I have decided I am a trust fund baby. I have decided there is a trust set up. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I have decided, just like Mel's doing with his mom, I have decided I will take care of my dad when he can't take care of me. I will give him the best life possible. We talked about this several times, and so it's coming to my attention that the self-publishing industry is getting harder and harder, and people think we're using the Mickey Mouse system, but the Mickey Mouse system is easily paying off, and being on the New York Times bestseller list will make it even better, and I hope you guys support my latest adventures, which I hope to be a full-time public speaker and a full-time published author and a full-time freelance journalist in the next 3 years, and that's why I want to put my book on the New York Times bestselling author list, even though I am a trust fund baby, and I just want to help those who can't get help. And with what's going on, this is not part of my script, that was my script, the trust fund part, and what's going on with health insurance doesn't help me, but I'm very lucky that I'm in a financially safe position, and I will always have health insurance, but when push comes to shove, I will shut down my company in 2 seconds flat and take care of me first, and I'm sure Mel would do the same for his family. So let's work together, all of us, on this, including my marketing firm, to make my book a New York Times best-selling author book. And I will post, the day it happens, I will post pictures on Instagram, pictures everywhere, and celebrate with you guys. But it takes a village to write a book. It takes even more of a village to market a book. And Mel, how would you like to close out this episode?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm really proud to be part of your team, and I hope you enjoy being part of mine. And regardless of what criticism you have or whatever people say about you or me, it's when you're in the public eye, you're going to take shots like that. So, trust fund baby or not, that's irrelevant to me. I mean, you're, like I said, you're really putting it out there. You're leveraging the universe with the law of attraction by not only stating your intention, you're also constantly refining your actions, and you're putting your actions in play. setting things in motion, putting people in the right position to win for you, no pun intended, as I do all the time myself. And, you know, there are adjustments and decisions that you make as time goes on, but nonetheless, the ship is always steering forward. You and I both share a very philanthropic spirit when it comes to our family, when it comes to what we're passionate about. So, you know, let's just keep working hard, and let's just stay on top of things. Let's empower the people that are aligned with us to do the best that they can, and let's serve them as well, because they are our internal customers before the external customer of the public can be satisfied. So on that note, another great podcast. Love serving with you, Wynn, and I can't wait for the next one.
And that's a perfect segue. As of today, Mel and I are working together in my company, you guys. So no more monkey business. Mel and I are going to try and serve you to the best of our abilities, and let's make this New York Times best-selling book happen, you guys. And we will see you guys next Thursday. You will hear me tomorrow. You will probably hear me next Wednesday. All these episodes go up today because today's Thursday. But you will hear Mel and I next week, and we'll do a deep dive and more New York Times best-selling author stuff and how we can craft a mission together, Mel and I, live to do it. And then the next episode is actually Finding Your Dream Team. And then the next episode is Inspired by Mel, Family and Entrepreneurship. And then the next episode, as we go into September, is scheduling. Oh, joy. And hopefully Wynn doesn't get caught underneath a textbook and have a textbook fall on her head before she does another podcast, but we'll see. And so I wanted to thank Mel for being a member of my team and taking half my company on. And I hope you enjoy Mr. Toad's Ride. It's never a dull moment with me, but I think I know, and I shouldn't say I think, I know this next book will be a New York Times best-selling book, and I get the cover back Monday morning, and then we'll see where the book progresses from there. I just sent my editor a nice payment, and so she's heavily working hard on formatting the book, and it will be on Kindle, it will be on audio, it will be on Create Space, and I'll go into this the next episode. Create Space takes a little bit more time than Kindle and audio. Well, I shouldn't say that. Kindle's the easiest, Create Space is the next one up, and then audio is the challenge just because you have to wait for the other person. But the other person and I have talked, and so he's going to do a nice job on my book, and we're going to do a 50-50 royalty split, and I'll explain that with Mel's help next episode. But this was episode number 1 of a 2-part episode of me becoming a New York Times bestselling author. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Take care.